Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to begin a series that will be going on throughout this election year as we come up on Election Day, and that is my Senate prediction videos. I did these in 2020, and I'm going to do them again. And this is where I talk about Senate races that are going on across the country. I have a rule that I do not let my personal biases play a role in these prediction videos. Um, I look at the race from an objective point of view and look at the facts, the polling, and the political environment across the country to inform these decisions. And I do not put the video out until after the primary has occurred, even if it's clear how the race is going to go, because candidate quality does matter in some senses. And the first race up is that I'm confident enough to make a prediction in is in the state of Indiana. And the incumbent senator, Todd Young, who is in his first term, is running for a second term. Young won the seat in 2016, defeating former Senator Evan Bayh by just under 10 percentage points. Bayh was not an incumbent senator at the time. This was not a Republican pickup. Bayh had retired in 2010, and former Senator Dan Coates, who had retired earlier, decided to run again. Coates first came to the Senate in 1993, replacing Dan Quayle. 1989, replacing Dan Quayle, who resigned to become vice president. And Coates served up in the Senate, the upper chamber, until 1999. Evan Bayh, the former son of his Birch Bayh, who was a governor like Evan and a senator, and was actually held the same seat that his son and Todd Young held. Donald Trump won the state of Indiana both times by double digits, although his 2020 margin of victory was slightly smaller, although he got a larger percentage of the vote. That's just because the third party percentage was lower. But it's a very safe Republican seat. The Democratic nominee is Thomas McDermott Jr. He has been the mayor of Hammond, Indiana, which is in the northwest corner of the state, the extreme northwest corner of Indiana, and is the only city in the state of Indiana that actually borders the city of Chicago. And of course, Todd Young is the incumbent senator. The primary was held on May the 3rd of this year, so just a little over a week ago, as I record this on May the 11th. And the combined totals for the primary was 367,071 votes cast on the Republican side. It was an uncontested primary. On the Democratic side, 170,394 votes were cast in the Democratic primary. It was also an uncontested primary on the Democratic side. So both candidates were assured the nomination. That, in percentage terms, comes out to about 68% for Republicans and 31% for Democrats. Like I said, Indiana is a very safe Republican seat. In the past, in Senate races, it could be competitive with the right candidate. And while Mr. McDermott has been the mayor of Hammond since 2005, 4, it's from a very Democratic area of the state. He ran in 2020 for the 1st Congressional District House seat that was an open seat in 2020, and he finished second in the Democratic primary. I'm sure that in Indianapolis he will perform well, and in his home area he will perform well. But Todd Young will perform exceptionally well across the rest of the state, and easily, in my opinion, be reelected to a second term. So that's my first prediction. Will be a Republican hold in Indiana. Todd Young reelected to a second term. I'll be back in sometime in the future with our second video. I'm pretty confident that will be sometime within the next 2 weeks that we'll get the second video out. We've got a massive amount of primaries coming up this month and next month, and some of them are some quite safe seats. So I'll see you all then.